All right. What's going on, Naki?
Well, here I am. There you
Uh,
go.
it's a Thursday, right?
Right.
And today we are, and I'm happy to. We got a few. We're always going to do some of the check-ins. We're just going to talk the way we normally talk, but we also, anytime we're talking about fitness, anytime we're talking about physical or mental health and awareness, I'm always in because don't think that we can talk about that enough.
Mhm.
And that is our guest today. So I'm going to turn that over to Naki and let her introduce our guest, and then we're going to dive into kind of his journey and where he's at today.
Yeah. So I was just saying that I have been watching everybody do extreme hip hop with rock, and everybody's been in so fit, and so I ran into Rocky at Kabasa Fitu, and then pretty much threw myself on his table to beg him to come on. I was
You
all
did
over
not have to
the
beg me.
table.
You didn't have to beg me at
But
all. Yeah.
Rocky Fafiu is an extreme hip hop instructor, and I think it's with Phil Step.
Yeah.
And he loves engaging our, Polynesian people and providing another form of exercise or movement that will hopefully resonate with them, which I totally get that. I'm trying to get to that level, but I love that you're getting our community involved and just moving. And it doesn't matter what level you are. And I've just been watching and in envy. I have no excuse now because you've hooked me up with contact, but we just appreciate your time and we love the work that you're doing, Rocky. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you start, where you grew up? Tell us where you grew up and how you got started.
So I'm from the Bay Area. I grew up born in Oakland, raised in San Leandro, um, and yeah, I've been in the Bay Area all my life. But I got started with it's called the name of the exercise platform is called Extreme Hip Hop with Phil. Phil Whedon, he's the creator of this step platform, exercise platform. And how I got started with it is one of my first cousins, her name's Yvonne, they call her, a lot of people call her Bonnie.
Mm.
But she lives in Utah. She's from the Bay Area also, but she moved to Utah. But she got started with it, and she she just became she's very passionate about it, and she became an instructor and everything. And then she was waiting for me to go to Utah so that I could go to her class and support her. And so then my very first step class was with her out there in Utah. And so I did it and I enjoyed it. And she had asked me, she was like, you should be an instructor. And I was like, I don't want to be an instructor. I was like, this is okay. But I was like, it's not, I'm not trying to be a fitness instructor. And so she goes, okay, well, when you go back, there's another instructor in the Bay Area. And her name is Lila. She was like, you should check out her classes. So then I started going to Lila's classes. And my very first class with Lila, she said the same thing. She goes, are you going to become an instructor? And then I was like, no, I'm not going to become an instructor. And it wasn't until like maybe, a few months later on down the line, I had attended a step event in Southern California. My cousin, the one that I was talking about, Yvonne Boni, she was she had a guest. She was teaching guest teaching with another instructor out there in Southern California. And so then I went to their class, and when I left and I was driving back, it was actually me and Tone. So me and Tone were out there for the step class, and then we were driving back, and then I was like, wow. When I went to her class and I just seen all of our people that were there in Southern California, and I was like, I would love to like be a part of this, like have, engage our people and hopefully have them, come out and try step and see, if it resonates with them. I don't know if either of you have been to Utah, but Utah step classes are filled with all of our people.
That's
So
awesome.
like it's literally there's multiple instructors in Utah, but all of their classes are filled with Polynesian people, and so I was like, man, I hope that maybe if I become an instructor, I would love to engage our community and hopefully have my classes look how they look in Utah, and so I decided to become an instructor, um, and that's kind of been my journey. Yeah. And it's been so nice. The thing that's been really nice about it is that um, I really wasn't involved in the community in that way, or really in any way, but now like different organizations, Samoan organizations are reaching out to me to bring this class to their organizations, and that to me has really been a blessing, to be able to do that.
I love watching that. Like you just did Manu Fo's event, and
Yeah.
live, and to see all the Pacific Islanders like going, just go. I was like, go, go, go. Of course,
Yeah.
like I'm behind the screen watching. But I love watching our community get out there and exercise. Like, and this is a fun way to do it.
Yeah.
Do you have to have rhythm to teach? Like, remember we had this long discussion when I threw myself on your table that I don't.
You don't have to have rhythm.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, our people have rhythm. We have rhythm, it's built in. So the rhythm comes, but I feel like, I've watched students that have started and have said the same thing, like they don't have any rhythm and they can't find the beat. And then, fast forward and here they are on beat, and whether you're on beat or not on beat, it really doesn't matter. You're moving and you're having fun, you
I
Yeah.
know?
gotta imagine that people weren't asking you after sessions that you must have been on beat if people repeatedly were asking you, "Are you going to be an instructor? Are you going to be an instructor?" Was it something that immediately that you just caught, like it was like, this is my vibe right away, or how did you get to the point where multiple people are asking you whether you want to be, when are you going to be an instructor, or they're already talking about not returning to the class, they're talking about actually leading the class. Was that something that you just felt connected to right away, or was there a couple sessions before you were like, I got the swing of this?
No, well, I mean, as far as being asked to be an instructor, that was after my first class with both of them, my cousin and Lila. And I was still trying to get, I was still getting the moves down under my belt. Um, but I think the reason, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the reason they were asking is because they know that there's a need, like there's an opportunity to grow something for our people here, where they can have another, just have another way to exercise, that's more accessible, I guess, for all ages, somewhat even like pickleball. Like I look at pickleball, and pickleball is like also something that I love. I've only played pickleball once, but I see a lot of our people, if they're gravitating towards pickleball, and it's all ages. Like there are 65 plus seniors, Polynesian senior citizens that are participating in pickleball tournaments.
Okay,
And
what
that
is
to me,
pickleball?
pickleball is like the way I describe it is it's like a mix between tennis and table tennis, ping pong. So like you're outdoors and you're on a court that is similar to a tennis court, but it's smaller.
The
But then,
paddles look like
yeah, the
big ping
paddles look
pong
like
paddles,
ping
right?
pong paddles,
Yeah.
but they're bigger. Yeah. And the ball is kind of like a wiffle ball. So like you can like smack that ball really hard, but it won't like fly over the fence.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. That's probably more my speed right there.
Yeah.
More my
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah.
I also noticed with Uncle Yeki's event that they reached out to you, which I love that you had that fundraiser. Um, how did that come about?
Well, no, so
Oh,
I'm like the Mali Tulua family. I grew up with they were in my home ward, so I come from a Mormon background. So our families are really close. The Lecky's wife side of the family, she's a Teo.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes. Te'o
yeah,
is
yeah,
huge.
exactly. So the Te'o family and my mom's side of the family, they were like the first families in San Leandro, Samoan families in San Leandro. And so our
Okay.
families close, ever since. But so I have so much love for their
Yeah.
family. And so when I seen that, they created a GoFundMe, I was like, oh well, maybe I could do a class,
Yeah.
a fundraiser class. And so I reached out to his kids just to make sure that it was okay,
Mm.
and they gave me the green light. Yeah,
So
and then
awesome.
some of his daughters were there at the step class as well. Yeah,
That is so awesome. I love that our community is, like you said, you weren't really heavily into the our what did you say community and then with step or extreme hip hop, um, our community is like drawn to you because I see a lot of Pacific Islanders, but I love that your class is mixed. But I do see a lot of Pacific Islanders in your class.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that's the whole it's new. It's not really new. It's new to our community. So,
yeah,
and we say this all they just needed to see somebody like us teaching it
yeah,
for them to get out and go, you know what I mean? Because
yeah,
I've seen the step classes, but I was like, "Oh, okay." But watching you and there's other people in the Bay Area that are doing it too, but watching you and seeing people that I know,
hmm,
doing the class is making me, "Okay, I gotta go. I have no excuse." I'm like, "If so and so can do it, I know I can do it." You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's just
yeah,
and it looks
So
like so much fun.
I'm gonna have to. I didn't realize until the show started how Naki got you on the show, throwing herself on the table, and but that's when we're at the community events, it's like a target rich environment for us because we're looking for positive PI role models, and at a community event, it's really target rich. Like there's all kinds of them, but
Yeah.
yeah, they get the I don't know the pressure, the community pressure, the I'm going to come up and just ask and be bold, but and that's one of those things that, like Nike had talked about, it's so important to see somebody that looks like you doing it or leading it or, being involved with it. Um, and with diabetes and obesity and so many of those things being problems in our community with our people, I think it is something that when we see somebody that's doing those kind of things like nutrition or Dr. Samoa being an endocrinologist and specializing in diabetes, when we find those people we definitely want to put them out there and show everybody what they're doing. And you had talked about like you weren't really involved with necessarily community in that sense, and Naki and I weren't either, but here we are, right?
Yeah.
Did you
yeah.
ever think that you were gonna that looking back, did you ever think that you were going to be involved in like trying to uplift your community, or did you kind of see that as somebody else's gig, like other people do that, or did you see that at some point you're going to end up doing maybe not fitness but being involved with community? Is this a surprise for you to be doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think it's a surprise for me to be involved in the community in this way. I mean, I feel like growing up in the church with having a Mormon background, we do community service projects and, stuff like that. But being a fitness instructor and being involved in the community in this way is something that I could have never imagined. I personally, I never wanted to be a fitness instructor. I like to work out, but I always just, like that was just for me, like exercise and being active. It's just something that was personal to me that I like to do. But there's something about this exercise platform, Extreme Hip Hop with Phil, that I've said it before, but I think that the reason why it resonates with me so much is that I feel like it's a great combination of both of my parents. Um, so my dad passed in 2019, but my dad, he loved to work out. He was always exercising, and I feel like seeing my dad work out and being strong and healthy was always something that helped me to want to work out or enjoy working out. And then on my mom, My mom, she loves to dance, so I grew up, dancing with my mom, watching Soul Train, and just, dancing by her side as a little kid, and so I think this exercise platform is special to me because it combines both. I get my mom and my dad because my dad can't dance. I get both of them combined in this exercise platform, and it makes it so much fun. And when I see people come and they do the class, I'll hear multiple people will say, "I love this class. I don't feel like I'm exercising. I feel like I'm just dancing." And I love it.
I
Because
love that.
sometimes the best workouts are the ones that you don't feel like you're working out.
Right, right. I
Yeah.
know, because like you, if you are in a class and you know it's an hour, you're like checking, or if you're
Yeah.
some of the classes that I've been in, I'm like working out and I feel like I've been there in an hour and I look up, it's only 15 minutes. I'm like, oh dang.
Yep.
15
Yeah.
minutes. Okay, but I when you're dancing and having fun and I see everyone enjoying themselves, time does go, it seems like it goes quick. Um,
Yeah.
can I ask you, when you got certified or became an instructor, like what was the process for you?
Yeah. So the process, I mean, in as far as becoming an instructor for the Extreme Hip Hop with Phil brand, it's not a very rigorous process. Like if you guys wanted to get become instructors, you can do it. Like whenever the next session is, I could get you guys signed up, and you can become an instructor. It's it's not that hard. I think the hardest thing is after becoming an instructor, that piece on where you want to teach and things of that sort. But I became an instructor in October of last year, and then I just started working with a lot of my friends that are in the step classes. We would just be they I call them my practice students, but I would host these step sessions with just my practice students so I could, build up my confidence and just learn how to be an instructor, and do it well. And then in February of this year, I launched my debut class in Oakland, and there was over 100 people that came out,
Oh my
and I was so
God.
grateful, for everybody that came out and joined. And I'm grateful for, the opportunities that I had. So I also want to, you know, think there's a Bishop David Dalmoipeau. He's
Oh
from the
yes.
San Bruno.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was given the opportunity to teach their young single adults on Wednesdays, and that was one of my first classes. That also helped me um, to get my skills together and stuff like that before I launched my debut class in February. So it was a great opportunity. And Bishop Dalmoy Peral, he purchased steps. Like he
Okay.
bought a bunch of steps. He already had them. There was another instructor named Nata that was teaching the class, and then she stopped, and then I came in and took over. And so right now there's not any classes going on over there at this current time, but like they have the steps, and he saw, like he had a vision that could be something, and we were able to bring it to the YSA over there.
I think that's one of the things that, as a kid, um, you love doing, and I always liken it to like football and wrestling, or like, I don't know, those were sports, right? And I didn't always have a great time. Um, I had fun during the plays, but it wasn't really fun. But when I played basketball, you could run up and down the court all day long, and you don't really think of it as exercise. You're just having
Yeah.
fun doing it. And then at the end of, 3 hours of running up and down the court, you don't like, oh, I need to go get some cardio in. You do it because you love it and you're having fun with it. And it sounds to me like that's kind of the trend now, is people are trying to find things like pickleball is a great example. Like
Hmm.
people start playing it and they're having fun. And they may not like tennis, but now all of a sudden they're having fun running back and forth, hitting the ball across the net. Or step. they're actually having fun. So it doesn't, you're not sitting there looking at the clock going, man, seems like I've been doing this for an hour and only 7 minutes have gone by. Naki
Yeah.
will have to learn how to get through that as a future instructor of step.
There will be nobody in my class. No, 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 thank you. I will leave that to the professionals.
But yeah, you bring up a great point that people are, they think it's fun. They, like dancing. We all,
Yeah.
been in a club and you're sweating and from what? Well, it's hot in there, but also you're moving. You're doing things
Yeah.
that you like doing, and it doesn't seem like exercise. Um, was so fitness kind of ran in your family, right? You saw that you kind of modeled after your father, that it was important for your father to stay fit and healthy. So do you think did he ever have a talk with you, or did you get that by watching? Because I think that's a big thing for us. We see as much as we hear, and if our parents do something, we probably just get it through seeing them do that. But was it always a big piece of your life when you were young or growing up, watching your father work out?
No, so I mean, yes and no. I mean, I always enjoyed seeing my dad, work out. He had like this exercise machine inside our garage growing up, one of those big exercise machines that he had bought. But I think as far as the fitness for me, it kind of came later on. So I was always, I mean, I didn't really play sports in high school. I was more so concerned with just school and music, somewhat, So I wasn't the football player, or the only sport that resonated with me and still does is volleyball. So I'm a true,
Ooh,
like, I love volleyball, and I could play volleyball for hours on end.
ooh.
But we didn't have a team in my high school at the time.
Did
So
not. I know. I don't. I would. I think that's kind of rare to find all boys volleyball.
yeah, well,
Um,
it's more common now. So the high school that I went to, yeah, so they have a boys
oh,
volleyball team now.
Yeah,
nice.
it's becoming it's
Crazy.
coming becoming popular again. I remember in the '80s, like Karch Karai and Sinjin Smith, and there it was. You saw them in the Olympics and hard court volleyball. Then it kind of progressed to beach volleyball, but it
Yeah.
seems to be making a comeback. Like high schools are starting to have in San Diego. There's a more and more high schools are having that. That's something that. Did you play club, or where did you get your
Oh no,
volleyball reps in?
it was church. I played
Church.
volleyball at church. Yeah, that's how I got started with it. And then I never got to play organized volleyball. But then after I graduated from high school, I started playing doubles, grass and sand, and and that's what I love to do. I mean, volleyball is my passion personally. Like, it's something that's definitely my happy place. Step has kind of taken me away from volleyball, but I'm enjoying seeing everybody else, find their place in step and continue their journey with fitness. And so step brings me happiness in other ways. Yeah.
Awesome. Can I ask you, how do you come up with your music?
Oh no, so
Is
the
it
music.
Do
Oh,
you
go
do
ahead.
everything? You pick the music, choreography, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, the music, that's the other reason why I think that I like this exercise platform, is because you get to choose the music. And I love music, so being able to have my own playlist is something that I really enjoy. Um, and I just kind of try to stick to music that it maybe is more so popular or mainstream. Like, even though there's a lot of music I listen to that maybe people don't know about, or they probably never heard, I try to stick to music that everybody's heard, because the thing about step is, like, you enjoy stepping because you like the music,
Yeah.
you know, or the music, and so yeah, so you're able to pick your own playlist. And as far as the routines go, it's more like you can create routines. So when I actually did my first song, I was asked to teach my. So my instructor is Lila Fa. She's in Concord. So that's who I came up under. And so she said she had me and her brother. We both got certified at the same time. And she goes, okay, for my anniversary class, you two, we're putting you on the mic. And then I was like, she's like, you're going to each do 2 numbers. And then I was like, oh my gosh, and she has a big class too. So I was like, wow, and so for when I first started, like those 2 numbers, I actually like came up with a routine. Like I came up with the routine that I like struggled to memorize. I had my nieces at the park practicing late nights with me, you know, to get it right. But then after I learned how to freestyle. So now, it's more so just freestyling, looking at who's in the crowd, seeing how they move, if it's too much, dialing back, slower tempos, and just going by that.
You're not you're not selling your case very well that it's not that hard to be an instructor. Now I'm hearing there's freestyle and you're crafting it to the audience, and it just seems the more I hear about it, the more respect I have for you as an instructor. But does that help feel like a piece of creativity with you, where you get to kind of flow with the room or make your own routine? How big of a piece is that for you?
No, I mean, I love it. I love being able, I mean, I love that aspect of being able to, I've definitely created routines for certain songs, but mostly the songs that I create routines for, or the type of routines that I create, are more so not necessarily step routines. They're more so like cardio blasts. So like when we're doing squats or lunges or stuff like that. um I've created routines like that, and I love them. I think, some of my class, they know when they hear certain songs, they know what's gonna happen next, and so yeah, I love it. And I was asked to teach a class in South City. I did a class at SF Elite. So 2 of my students, they're husband and wife, but they asked if I would come teach at SF Elite, and they went, and they secured, the venue, and they were like, "We just need you to come teach," and her husband was like, I want to hear more island reggae, and so I was like, whatever you want, send me your list, and I'll put a playlist together, and so yeah, so I had an island reggae playlist. So to be honest with you, me personally, I don't really um island reggae, poly reggae is not like my preference of music that I put on my playlist. But when I did that class, and knowing that, you know, it resonates with a lot of our people, if it's gonna get our people out, I will, we could do poly reggae all day, And even some of the songs that he recommended or suggested, I was like, wow, you know what? I like these songs. And so I've been implementing some of those songs in my playlist now. So yeah.
I think it'd be a little hard to you got to kind of stay in that lane where you talked about earlier, like people got to like the music, you know what I mean, to enjoy the class. They're going to have to at least, not hate the music, because if it turns into a chore, then it's not likely that they're going to be back. Do you hear a lot of that from our people, from the Polynesians, of, man, this doesn't feel like exercise, or I actually like doing this because, once, like I said, once we're not kids and we're not doing things like we love, like volleyball or basketball, then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're trying to find things like, jogging on a treadmill. Who likes doing that? No, there are a few people, but the majority of people don't like just running on a treadmill. So you're looking for things to do that you actually like. Have you heard that from the community, that, man, this doesn't feel like exercise, like I'm getting a workout in, and just actually liking it?
Yeah. So I hear both. I hear some people will say, "Oh, this doesn't feel like a workout," and then you hear somebody, "No, it feels like a workout. I can feel it." But at the end of the day, I always hear that it's fun. And I think that when something is fun, it allows you to, even if it does feel like a workout, if it's fun, then it makes it easier for you to do. And not only that, I think group exercises, or there's a huge step community here in the Bay Area. Not just our people, but there's so many people. And if you go to any step class here in the Bay Area, you'll feel welcome, immediately. Like, people are so welcoming, they're so supportive. And I think it's because everybody knows what it's like for their first time,
Yeah.
to be in a step class, and how they struggled, and so everybody's just trying to help support everybody else, and cheer them on, and it's, yeah, and I love it. I love to see it. And I think the step community, mixed with how fun it is, and maybe it feels like a workout, or maybe it doesn't. It keeps bringing people back.
It
Yeah.
does. It does. Is there or do you have a dream venue that you want to teach at, or
Yeah, I mean, so I do have a dream venue. So let me just put it out there right now. So I mean, I would love to teach. I've been wanting to do a rooftop class, like even like somewhere in San Francisco. And so I was telling different people, friends of mine that also step, how I've been wanting to do a rooftop class. And then there was a new student that actually just attended my class last week, and she told me that, she lives in Alameda, and that she has access to a rooftop, and they do classes on the rooftop, and that she would love to have me do a class there. And I was like, this is crazy.
there you go. You've
I
spoken
was
it
like, this
out
is
into the
crazy.
universe.
Yeah. And so, a rooftop class, the other class that I would love to do is Treasure Island. I think doing a class there on Treasure Island, facing where you have a full view of San Francisco.
Oh,
Yeah, that's another spot I would love to do a class at.
that's awesome. That would be beautiful too,
Yeah.
to see
I don't
that.
know who would all show up, but
Oh,
but it
people
would
will
look
show
nice.
up. They
Yeah.
will show up.
Yeah.
They will show up. They enjoy the sport, and I call it a sport because it kind of is. Yeah, I know it's an exercise, extreme hip hop, but to me, it's like a sport. Like, can you compete in? And is there competition?
Oh, no, so they don't have competitions, but there was a it's called Stepcella. So the creator of Step, Phil Whedon, he has a conference that is
Mhm.
specifically for instructors. And so they just had Stepcella just recently, actually, and it was in Atlanta. And so all the instructors that are able to, they go out there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it, for this. I haven't been yet because I've only been an instructor for, almost a year now. So I wasn't able to make this past conference, but he runs competitions there with the instructors. Like,
Oh,
there'll be a competition for burpees, who can do the most burpees,
oh,
um, who can follow the call outs. He'll be calling out a bunch of different call outs. And then if you mess up, then you're out. And so there's competitions like that they'll have at Stepcella. And yeah, the Bay Area was definitely, they took a lot of those prizes.
oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Um, are there more now that you've been doing this? Just well, it'll be a year in February, right?
Well, a year February is when I launched my classes, but I became an instructor in October in
October.
this month. Yeah,
In October.
yeah.
Have there been people that have come to you after doing your class that wanted to become an instructor that have followed through that are now instructors?
So for me, there hasn't been none of my students, or no one that has started with me, started stepping with me. Um, or actually, I take that back. There was someone that started with me, that she became an instructor. I think she was stepping, I think she did step like years back. And then her first class with me was actually at SCDC, when I was doing classes there. And then, she ended up becoming an instructor.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think she got certified maybe a month ago or so. Yeah,
That's awesome. I'm gonna make a class. I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
Yeah, don't be nervous. I mean, so I told you, I let you know that first Sundays are definitely the Sundays. It's dedicated to first timers. Also, there's a special class actually this Saturday that Lila is hosting out in Concord. Concord's not too far from you, right?
No,
From Fairfield.
no, it's not at all.
So the class in Concord is actually for first timers only. So Lila's not letting anybody else sign up for that class. Only first timers or people that have taken maybe one or two classes before. So if you and Carl are interested in a first timer only class,
That's a
that would
long ways from me, but it's right around the corner from Naki.
where are you at, Carl?
A long ways away from Concord. I'm
He's
in
in
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
I'm in
Yeah.
Sacramento. It's not far from me
Oh,
either. So no excuses. But I always so like I did P90X, and I can't remember the guy's name that was the instructor, but I always look at people that are in shape because every workout's hard for me, right? So I'm dying as I'm going through the workouts. I always wonder, and I look at the instructor like, what's a hard workout for you? So what is a hard workout for you? You know what I mean? Like you're the
oh,
instructor, so
I mean,
not
go
only
ahead.
doing the class, you have to have enough breath, not just to breathe. Like you have to call out, and it's way different level when you're the instructor. What's a difficult workout for you?
No, so I mean, workouts for me, it all depends on. I'm going to be honest with you. It all depends on where my weight is at. So if I've been eating a lot and have picked up a lot of weight, then any workout is hard for me. And right now, that's kind of, to be honest with you, right now, that's kind of where I'm at. So my birthday was in June, and then everybody kept feeding me, and then I gained like 25 pounds, and I keep saying I'm gonna knock it back down, but it hasn't come back down yet. So yeah, all the workouts right now for me are hard.
I think that personalizes it for people because if you see somebody that's a freaking triathlete 24/7, 365, it's almost like, well, I can't really relate to you because you're like this, and you have people that have struggles that normal people have. I think that
Yeah,
makes people relatable, and I love hearing that classes are supportive. I
yeah,
think that I used to I was a gym rat for decades, and I would always look at people that would come in. You could tell it's their first time in the gym, and I always looked at that like they're so brave. Like I don't know that I would do that. You know what I mean? I'm used to going to
yeah,
gyms, so it was like if I went to a new gym in a different city, but it's still a gym, right? So it wasn't like that new to me. But I would see people like after New Year's, and they would come in, and nobody was supportive. You know what I mean? Like people would always make the jokes about, oh yeah, the New Year's resolutions are going to be here; they'll be gone by March.
yeah,
So to hear how supportive the step community is really that's encouraging because I can picture that being like, is it the first day of school where nobody likes me, or
yeah.
the first time in a gym? So that's a it sounds like a welcoming environment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely is a welcoming environment. And like I said, I think it's because, everybody knows they know how their first class was. I
Right.
joke around and say that I was, my first class, I was good. I was actually really good, but only because I took a little private lesson before because I personally didn't want to, look like a first timer, even though it was my first time in class. Um, but yeah, everybody knows. Like everybody has their videos of their first time in class, and and they post them.
Yeah.
They post them for everybody to see, like how much they struggled, because then they could also see where they're at now. You know, and then
Progress.
people that are starting out, they could be like, oh wow, so and so they were struggling too, just like me. Yeah.
Do you have any do we need to stretch before we come? Do we need to drink lots of water? Like, I mean, I'm sure we need to stretch, right? Like,
So I
any
I usually start out. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. Go ahead.
Oh no, so usually I start out my classes with it's called dynamic stretching. So we start with jumping jacks and high knees and butt kickers, some lunges, stuff like that. And those type of exercises help to get your heart rate up, but they also help you to stretch. Each instructor's class is different, so typically other instructors will ask the students to just stretch,
Mhm.
prior to them starting their class. They'll say, okay, get your stretches in. We're gonna start, but I always start mines out with that, with the dynamic stretching. Some people like it, some don't. But to me, I feel like dynamic stretching is going to help prevent injury.
Yeah,
So we do it. Yeah.
that's awesome. Do you have any upcoming events? And I only asked this because what I seen recently was the Manufo event, um,
Yeah.
in South City. How did that come about, and how did it go?
Yeah. So she actually, I feel bad because Manufo, she reached out to me earlier on, and she asked if I would be willing to do, a step class, she wanted to partner with me. And I wasn't able to coordinate anything with her back then. And then Reno reached out to me, and I met Reno playing volleyball at the YSA Chapel at Sneak while I was teaching step over there. And then yeah, he reached out and asked if I would be willing to do it, and then I said yes. So I was kind of struggling. I wasn't sure if this whole the thing with being with politicians,
Mhm.
and it's kind of a little tricky, sometimes it can be, and I'm new to being an instructor somewhat. I haven't, hit my year mark. So I wasn't sure like, oh, should I do this? Like um um do this event, even though, it's a great thing. And so I was like, well, this is a community event, you know, do it, and it was a great experience, to be honest with you. Um, and, just meeting Manufo and, uh, she's really sweet, and the vision that she has,
Yeah.
I see it,
Yeah.
and I support her, so, yeah, I was grateful. That's how it came about, and I'm, I was extremely grateful for them to even think about me, because to me, I still feel like I'm just so new. I feel like I'm still new to this, and people are reaching out and asking me to, to do step, and I'm grateful for it. I'm extremely grateful for
Yeah.
all these opportunities that are coming my way and that are with our people, because that is truly what makes me happy to be able to be teaching these classes and see all of our people in them. It, yeah, yeah, I love it.
Awesome. It's awesome. Do you have any events coming up?
Oh yeah, so I do actually have an event coming up. It's not finalized yet, but
Mhm.
I think it's not this Saturday, but the 22nd of this month. Um, so, like I said, I'll be hitting my 1 year anniversary as an instructor. I got
Yeah.
certified in October, but I also got certified with two other Samoan instructors. And so, oh no, I take that back. Another Samoan instructor and a Tongan instructor. And so the Tongan instructor, his name is Loni. He's actually Lila, my instructor. His is her brother, and then Mace, which is he's from Hawaii, but we all got certified in Utah while we were out there. We did the certification out there. So we're going to be doing a collaboration for our 1 year anniversary as instructors, and we're going to be putting on a class for it's going to be either a 75-minute or a 90-minute class in on October 22nd at Brooklyn Basin in
Oh,
Oakland.
wow. Here in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
Awesome. I might show up there.
yeah,
I might not dance. I'll be shoving a mic in people's faces. I love the work that you're doing, and I've been stalking you forever. And I keep telling Maury, who takes your classes and is always around you, like I'm jealous she's in your circle. Uh, but I've been stalking. Well, I started stalking her, and then I started stalking you. I mean, in an innocent way, not stalking, stalking.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
But just because I love watching everybody having fun, and so many people are recording themselves, like you
Yeah,
said. and then showing their progress, doing side
Yeah.
by side. So I
Yeah.
love that. I love that you're getting our community healthy. I love that there's so many of us joining, and it's not, and I see your classes are mixed, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're reaching more than just our community.
Yeah.
I love the work that you're doing. Thank you so much for your time this evening. We
Yeah.
appreciate everything that you're doing. I'm going to show up somewhere and I'll watch. I'll support. I'll support.
Yeah.
I'll support.
If
But
Naki's there, you got to get her out there on the floor.
no, yeah, no,
Yeah. She'll be in the back. I'm like, I'd like to call Naki to the front.
I'll just
Oh.
fall. I'll fall. I'll just fall and faint. I mean, you call me, I'm like, no, I'll just fall. But I mean, I'm gonna show up, I promise you. I don't know if I'm gonna step, but I just love the vibe that everybody has there. I love the energy that you're giving. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I appreciate your work. I'm following you up. Like right when I seen you at Kapasa Fetu, I was like, I didn't even talk to Carl. I just ran over there and threw myself on you.
Yeah, I literally didn't know until the show started. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's how this poor guy got wrangled into this." But we need people like you. We need people that are pushing fitness and wellness, both physical and mental health awareness. So to have you out there and to know that, knowing our people are getting out there and moving and sweating and becoming fit because there's somebody out there that looks like them that's doing it, that's calling it, picking the music, connecting with the people and running the class. So, as a community, we see what you do. We're so proud of what you're doing.
We're
Oh,
so
thank you so much. Thank you. I'm extremely grateful to be, here on the podcast. So I just want to thank both of y'all for, for inviting me to be here, in this space. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rocky. We appreciate you. Please continue to keep us updated. Send us your flyers so that we can share them. Again, thank you so much. God bless you.
Bye.